All right, so what we ended up doing was making some brackets. We had a little video a while ago that the sound weren't recording on, but we ended up taking some steel plate, 1/4 inch steel plate. All right, so we're gonna wait. We got them tacked up under there. You know, they're tacked halfway solid, but we're gonna wait. That thing goes on up in there about 3 inches up in there. We're gonna wait till I get it picked up a little bit and go back and weld them solid. I don't necessarily care to be up under there like that. I can't have to get to where I need to get. There's a couple more brackets up under there, so we're going to drill some holes where I think we need to be at as far as here, and then we're going to mount the bracket back up and we're going to transfer them holes through the other side. So give us just a second. We'll be right back. What we're going to do is just go through here and drill a couple holes. We're going to drill a couple holes in the side there. What I All right, so that was enough to get it done on that. Make sure that was a 3/8. And it was. And we'll come behind it and clean that stuff up, the burrs behind there, and we'll be ready to transfer the mark. Take some 400 grit sandpaper, and we'll put it on that little DA sander or little palm sander. We'll clean them burrs up on this aluminum. You can sand aluminum I've sanded it with 80 grit before and brought it back, but I ain't never went much more than 80 grit. I'm sure you can, but it'll just take more steps to get it back smooth. I may end up polishing this aluminum out. It's already got, some pretty good scratches in it. I'll take these off for now. I should be done welding for a little while. So what I want to do is I want to look and see about where would be a good height for my lights. I'm thinking about 2 inches. 2 inches across the bottom. All right, so we get us a mark pot across here. That's one thing about it. If you ain't got no nice clean shop to work in, you can't never find crap. You got to hunt around for your stuff. Every time you move, you got to be looking for something. So I got me a straight line here. And what I'm going to do is I got to make up my mind how many lights I want to put in here so I can get me a spacing that looks right. See, that's off somehow. What's off with it? I got 7 7/8 down there, and I got 8 1/8 down here. So how does that get off? And we're gonna get rid of this line. That's why it's best to double check stuff. Because that I went through and drilling all my holes on me off. And if you got a tape measure at the end of it is loose, you see that little bit of play right there? That could cause you to get off. That's an 8/16 to an eighth of an inch play in there. So depending on, you got your finger butted up against it and it's pushed in and you mark a measurement, or you got it pulled on whatever you're pulling on and you mark a measurement, that's easily almost an eighth of an inch you could get off. So raggedy tape measures, when they start getting real loose like that, if you got to be precise, throw it away. It'll cost you more heartache than it's worth. Throw it away and go buy you a new one. All right, so we'll double check it again just to make sure we're going to be straight. I got 8, 8, 8. So we're good this time. Now I need to figure out what am I going to be across here. I'll come from the inside of the weld, which is going to be 44 3/4. Half of 44 3/4 is 22 3/8. 22 3/8. Yep. So if you had them an inch and a half, if you had them an inch and apart, you're gonna be looking at about 20 inches, 20 lights. I don't want that many. I would go about 20 on the whole thing, maybe. Yeah. Let me get one and just see what it looks like. All right, so what we got here is like a 3/4 inch button light. can use it with a rubber seal, or it's got a little chrome plate thing that comes with it. I think we may end up using the little chrome plates with them, depending on what it looks like. Let's see what it looks like. You can use them with the chrome or without, and depending on what it looks like when it's in there, don't necessarily mean because it's got a chrome plate that that's going to look the best for this. It may stand out more with that black. So whichever way looks the best, that's what I want to use. But either way, that chrome ring is we'll call it an inch and a. It ain't quite an inch and a quarter. It's more like an inch and an eighth. So if you had an inch and an eighth spacing, we need at least an inch in between them, just to kind of give us an idea of what we're looking like. And something like that, what I would do, I would start from the center and go out. That way, if you got close to the edge and you didn't have enough of room to put a light, at least you would have the same amount on each end. If you start from the end and come in the middle and you ain't got them exactly right, you could have an odd space there. So I would start in the middle and I would work out on both ends. And whatever I had on the edge left, that's just what I had. If I had an inch, if I had an inch and a quarter, inch and 5/8, 3/4, that would just be what was left. So I'm thinking we don't want to get them too close together. We don't want to get them too far apart. So I'm thinking almost, it looks like about 2.5 inches. Looks pretty good. Or we could say 2. If we went 2, that would mean we would go an inch each way from the center, and there'd be a gap in the center. So if we call that the center, we went an inch from the center. We would end up with 21 being, no, we went an inch, and then we go 2 from there. We got 22, so we'd end up being 20. You'd have 2 inches on the side. You'd have 2 inches on each side, looks like. Yeah, so that would basically put me about 10 lights. So let's do it like that. We'll go an inch from the center each way. I'll do away with that one. We don't need that one. That's not a mark. Then what we do, we'll go 2 inches apart. That's going to give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's gonna give me 11 lights on each side. So I'm gonna have 22 lights up here at the front. 22. So we'll go same thing. Count it down. 22, 20, 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, and 2. I got 1 inch and 5/8 on that side. And about the same on the other side. It's off about a 16. So that's what we would give on the mark. And we make sure we dead on that chalk mark every time we hit that mark. So yeah. Let's go through here and pop that. I want to pop that mark one more time. Pop it over the black line. That way I can be sure. That's your mark. Cut this fan off a second. It's blowing my chalk. Dead center. It don't matter about where the black mark's at. We want to be on the blue line with the drill bit. Go back through here and double check one more time. Make sure. Make sure. Make sure. Once you drill a hole in it, that's it. I always try to use the smallest drill bit when I'm starting out on something that's got to be super close like that. Get me a teeny tiny bit. The smaller the bit, the better chance you got of getting dead on center. You go there and you start with a big bit, it's going to wobble just enough that you're going to be out of center. You start with a teeny tiny bit. It's basically the same as putting your punch hole in. Using a hammer and a punch. Get as close to that mark as you can. So if you had a 1/4 inch bit and it wobbled to the side one way or the other, yeah, I mean, they'll be pretty close. They're not going to be string straight. You don't even have to drill it all the way through with a teeny bit. You just need to get that little indentation where you want it. These holes are going to end up being 3/4 of an inch. So I got a 3/4 inch bit, but it may not be any good. I had to go buy a 3/4 bit just to finish it off. You don't want to wobble it out. It needs to be exactly 3/4. Or the lights don't fit tight. You'll have to glue them in there. So when you step up to at least 1/8 of an inch bit here, then you can go ahead and go on through with it. All right. So this little project never supposed to ended up being getting into as much stuff as it is on this thing. It started out, it was just going to be a muffler stack that I had, an extra muffler stack, and I was going to build a base plate for it, and I was going to put the mailbox, or go buy me a new mailbox from Lowe's and just weld it on it and set it down there at the road, and that's all it was going to be. So it turned into something totally different once I started putting a little bit of thought process in it. And I always been like that when I get doing something. It ain't never quite good enough. I need to do a little more to make it a little bit better, a little more. And even when I was working for other people, when I go on jobs and do work for other people, back when I used to put in septic systems, I'd always look, what can I do to make it a little bit better? What can I do to make it work better? And I would always do extra steps to make sure that it was going to work, at top level for decades. But it can be a blessing and it can be a curse at the same time, because you get started doing stuff and you end up with a whole lot bigger projects than what you originally started out. So something that started out as something that was just going to be basic, 1 day little project or 2 day project is turned into months long project on the side. But it'll probably be one of a kind. I'm pretty sure there won't never be another one like it anywhere, because I don't think there's a whole lot of people would put that amount of time in it. But we're going to keep moving with it. As far as drilling, I got to go find some better drill bits, and we'll come back. All right, so that's open them up till that's a little better than a 1/4 inch there, I think. They make the dang little number so small on this son gun, you got to have a magnifying glass to read it. All right, so we got them to a 1/4, a little bit better than a 1/4. We need to open them up to 3/4. So we got a lot of drilling to do to open them up to 3/4. Yep, that's a 1/4 inch. So I don't like to go up too big, too fast, because it can start wobbling that hole. If you take them up a couple sizes, a size or two bigger at the time, it's less likely going to wobble that hole out. All right, so we need to get rid of some of these shavings around here before they end up in your skin or in your eyes or whatever. And I wear these earplugs because I got a bad burn in my ear a couple years ago, and I think it messed up my eardrum on my right side. I know definitely I can't pour any peroxide down it. Last time I poured peroxide down it, almost gave me a heart attack. But so I know there's something going on. The doctor said it weren't no didn't burn all the way through, but if you pour peroxide in your ear and it gets down in your inner ear where it feels like, you know, somebody stabbed you in the head with a screwdriver, something ain't right. So about a year ago, I thought I was pretty good. I thought it had healed up pretty good. And I was going to clean out my ears, you know, with a Q-tip, whatever. And I took a little drop of peroxide and I put it in that side over there and it buzzed and it felt pretty good. And then I turned my head over on that side and put it in. And when I felt the drip of peroxide going down my earlobe, and when it hit down there at the bottom, it was like somebody stabbed me in the side of the head with a screwdriver. And it was just excruciating, hard pain for about 5 minutes. Like you question, why in the heck did you do that? But I ain't going to do it again. So I try to keep any kind of, you know, contaminants, any metal shivers or dust or Bondo, get it out. So it's easier to protect it than it is to let it get messed up. So we're going to move on up to a 1/2 inch. We went to 3/8. We're going to see how this 1/2 inch is cut, which starts about an 1/8 inch at the time. We went from 16th to 1/8, then we went to 1/4, then we went to 3/8. Now we're going to go to a 1/2 inch. We're going to see if this drill bit will cut. And you don't want no drill bit that's doing a lot of wobbling either. You want it to be, you know, going around pretty true. You can start out slow with it. Just take a look at it. Once you see it, same thing. Just real light pressure. Let the drill do the work.